Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so excited to have a conversation with actress Olivia Munn. You've seen Olivia in Magic Mike, Buddy Games, The Newsroom, and much more. Currently, you can see Olivia in the amazing show Your Friends and Neighbors. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't tell you how much this means to me to be talking with you.
Maya, that means so much. I'm so happy to be talking with you, especially as someone who's been on a similar journey as me. And I was really touched to hear your story and your resilience and how strong you've been, and am equally excited to talk with you.
Thank you so much. So who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
That's a great question. Um, it's kind of, I would say Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart gave me my first big break into mainstream. And I got that call to be on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, um, right as I had kind of taken my first leap, which actually I'll say, like it's a question of like who has made the biggest impact, and I would actually go to start with Tina Fey and Robert Carlock because they I had auditioned for them for 30 Rock, and they actually offered me the role before it was retracted because it ended up looking at the time like I was too young to play Alec Baldwin's love interest, which I did get the role for that. But it was literally like in the span of 1 week, it was like, you got the job, you're flying to New York tomorrow. And then a few days later, it was like, actually, no, they've had to go a different direction. But by going into that audition, it was a time where I remember I kind of shifted my brain on auditioning. And usually when you audition, you go into a waiting room of a lot of people who look like you. And some people you recognize for being successful actors, which is immediately intimidating. And there's this weird game of intimidation that happens. There will be some girls who come out and they're laughing and smiling and joking with the casting director, and immediately you feel insecurity because you think, oh my gosh, they have this relationship, they have this friendship, they're going to get it, why am I here? All this doubt comes in. And if it's an emotional audition and they come out like wiping their eyes from tears, another insecurity washes over you, and you think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to cry in there. And so this was one where I made a decision to dress exactly the part that I thought the character would be dressed. And when I signed up, I signed in. So normally when you go and you sign in, you stay close by. So when they call your name, that you're close enough to hear it and you go in. Because auditioning, you're just like, please pick me. That's the energy. And I just thought at that time, I thought, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. And if they pick me, they pick me. And I'll take their notes, of course, like any notes they'll give me. But if they don't pick me, that's okay, because what I want to be is an actor. And for all intents and purposes, like I'm an actor. I'm in a room acting opposite somebody. There's a camera there. And so whether I get to set or not is not going to determine my happiness with this day. And I did something different that day. I signed in and I walked outside. We were on a studio lot. And so I just walked outside and was just like in on the lot and standing there. And I just kept going over my lines over and over and over, confident that when they called my name, someone would go look for me. And I was able to look through the glass doors and I saw them saying a name and looking around. And I realized that probably is me. So I walked in, I did my audition. Grace Wu was the casting director of NBC at that time. And I felt so confident. And when I got that role, that the confidence in me and my ability just skyrocketed. And I thought, if Tina Fey and Robert Carlock think I'm funny and good and strong enough to be on their show, then I must have something, and I should keep going. And so that was the beginning of giving me the confidence to keep going, even if I didn't end up getting the role. And going back to Jon Stewart was really impactful for me because it was such an iconic show, and he is such an icon. And to be asked to be on the show, I had an audition for it. He had seen some of my work and called me in and met with me and gave me the opportunity. That just tripled down on my confidence, and so that was probably the beginning. Those people were the beginning of the impact, and of course there are many more people who have, definitely impacted the trajectory of my career, but that's the beginning.
Oh, wow. So who has had the biggest impact on you personally?
I'm trying to narrow down my girlfriends, but I truly can't, because every girlfriend in my life has impacted me in different ways and has helped me grow and learn, and has forgiven me for things that, I mean, not that I would need their forgiveness, but they have helped me forgive myself for things that, and I only say they don't have, they didn't have to give me the forgiveness, because I haven't done anything to my girlfriends that would warrant that. But, in times when I'm really hard on myself, they've helped me learn how to forgive myself. And I think simply because of their love and support, and we've grown up together. My best friend, I've known since I was 13, and we're both in military families, and we grew up in Tokyo, and we've just been best friends for so long. And she's the person I can call and say, like, just give me 20 seconds. Let me just tell you this really stupid thing that I did. And then she laughs at me. We hang up the phone and we move on. And like, that's the friendship we have. So I would say all of my girlfriends, all of my best girlfriends. And I would say, let me count the best girlfriends I have. I've got 1, 2, 3. I would call it like 5 best girlfriends.
Wow, I love that. Yeah. Those are, yeah, the best kinds of friendships.
Yeah. Do you have best friendships yourself? Best girlfriends?
I do, yeah.
How many do you have?
I have my sister and 2 friends that I've known since kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
You're so lucky that your sister's your best friend, because, there's a bond there that is different than any other bond that you'll ever have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm actually looking at a picture right now of it was my mom, my sister, and I when I was on the Kelly Clarkson show. We have a picture of us hanging in my room that I'm looking at right now. So
oh, that's so great. How sweet and nice is Kelly Clarkson?
she is so sweet. I'm still like, I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I've been a fan of hers for so long that sitting next to her, I just couldn't believe that was real life.
I still experience those feelings, and I still remember the times where that happened to me. And it's a very out of body experience, but at the same time, you feel really present. At least for me, I felt really present, but at the same time, it's out of body. And what's beautiful about it is when you meet these people face to face, you realize that we all have one thing in common, which is that we all exist on this earth together, and we all have different paths, but we're all trying to get from point A to point B. And that's a similar bond that we all share. And so in a way, for me, it has given me more confidence in myself, and knowing that um, that that not there aren't people that are that sometimes idolizing people isn't the best thing for our psyche and our actual art and our self-love, because the person that we should be, the person we need to love the most is ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Oh, my children, they are the sweetest, most fun, kind. I was actually just before I got on with you, I was just playing some videos of um, my son. I made a folder. I have folders for both now called like best Malk videos and best May videos, because on our phones, right, we have so much
Yeah.
photos and videos, and sometimes I have a hard time like scanning through all of them. My husband's very good. I'll be like, where's that one photo of Mother's Day? And I was in that one room, and he just finds it where I have a hard time. So I was just looking at this, and um they're just so sweet and cute, and it's interesting to have two children, because I was thinking about this. My daughter May is so vocal, like, and she loves me so much, and which means a lot, because I had to go through surrogacy because of my breast cancer journey, and so there's always that fear that she wouldn't bond with me, but she loves me and calls out for me. And I'm like, I just thought today, I thought, when Malcolm came into our world, he was our world shifted for him, and because he's still just a toddler, the world still needs to be um, centered around him and her, but really our schedules shift around him and his activities and all that. And so our daughter came into our life, and she didn't get to have the whole world shifted around her. She just has to come into a world. And I think she's really finding her voice early on, just by being like, hey guys, like, I want to be part of this conversation, or she always wants to be part of every conversation. Is your sister older or younger than you?
We're twins, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah, but she's 3 minutes older, so
Well, wait, are you guys identical or fraternal?
we're fraternal.
Wow. That's exciting. Was that with IVF or
Yes.
natural? I'm asking IVF.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's so exciting. I can only imagine for your parents, because I know the experience of IVF, and that elation and gratitude that comes over you as a parent when you get the news that the embryos took and the transfer took, and then you hit certain stages, and it's just so exciting. So um I'm so happy for your parents to have gone through that, because I know.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, my mom is actually she's such a um fan of yours, and she's a breast cancer survivor too.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm I'm so honored that she has so much love for me, and I equally to her, because she'll understand that there's a sisterhood of us. And so there is this immediate love that we do have for each other. What stage was she at when she was diagnosed?
I actually don't know.
Mm-hmm. Did she have to go through chemo and surgery and all of that?
Yeah, she went through yeah, surgery, chemo, radiation, all of it,
Wow.
a
So she was
bunch
at,
of side effects. So yeah.
yeah. Wow. Is she doing okay now? Is she in remission?
Yeah, yeah, she is. She's been in remission for I think it's been about 10 years.
Oh, wow. I'm so happy for her. Man, what a scary moment in your family then for this news to come in again with your cancer diagnosis. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a jarring, I'm sure, or it was
Yeah.
jarring.
Yeah, definitely. I don't fully remember it all because my sister and I we were in third grade and I was still having a lot of health issues going on then. So it was like, I remember like bits and pieces, and my mom
Mhm.
like trying to juggle it all when it was
Yeah.
really just her. So
Wow, what a superhuman your mom is.
yeah, she is. She's my biggest role model.
Aw, I love that for you guys.
Thank you. Um, yeah, so what is the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
Um, if you'd asked me at another time, I would have another answer, but asking me today, um, I I didn't realize that it was an obstacle until I went through it. Um, Being diagnosed with cancer actually wasn't the biggest obstacle. It was the realization of how hard I had been on myself for so much of my life. Um, and as you will understand this, and your mother, when you get a diagnosis of cancer, um, all of your focus goes to surviving. All of your focus goes to marching through to the end. And when we have such a tall, arduous mountain to climb, instantly for me, I dropped emotional baggage because I didn't have time to, my mind, I'm thinking about 1,000 things every day, and then all of a sudden I can only think about a few things, but the foremost is beating cancer. And so I didn't realize until I got through a lot of my surgeries, I was kind of thinking about just my life and taking stock of like how things were and how I was feeling. And I realized that, wow, these inner thoughts and this dialogue that I have with myself and have had for so long was gone. And I realized then that I had dropped all that emotional baggage because I couldn't possibly carry it up the mountain when I was just trying to get myself up the mountain. And the work that I have done subsequently to keep it there, because the thoughts creep in and you go like, nope, nope, no, 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 nope. You don't come back. This is not like, I didn't drop you and climb a mountain just to prove to myself that I need it again, and I realized when it mattered most, which is, what matters most is survival. When it mattered most, that wasn't something I felt I needed, and it wasn't something that I did need to get to the top. So why get to the other side and pick it back up? And so that's the biggest obstacle and something I'm most proud of, and grateful. I think my future self is going to be so grateful that I have done the work now to keep it on the ground and behind me.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is very impressive to, yeah.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I am pop culture obsessed, and I go on stages of shows
Mhm.
that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Um, I would, people have been asking me that, and it's really difficult because my husband John was saying the other day, he's like, I haven't watched an adult show in so long. And I'm like, I know, because and we are a TV family. We are not a device screen time family, like no iPads or iPhones. Um, it's a big no-no for us, but we let our son watch TV, and he watches Daniel Tiger. I don't know if you remember Daniel Tiger. And it's this great cartoon based off of a character from Mr. Rogers, which I think you're probably too young for. Your mom would know, but it's just the most amazing show, and it's not it's not high paced and high whatever. I can't think of the word, but it's just it's not like what is, like other things like there's other shows that just are like kind of manic for the kids, and like and it just gets into their brain. This is really a great show that teaches a lot of lessons, like um you know like like Malcolm said not that long ago. He said he was getting angry, and all of a sudden out of nowhere he goes, when you're feeling mad and you wanna roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. And he went, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he learned that from the show. So and I'll tell you, I've learned a lot from that show as well. So that would probably be the thing that I watched the most. I have not been able to watch really anything adult. I was able to watch my show, Your Friends and Neighbors, when I was doing the it's called ADR, when you get back into the booth and you kind of fix any lines that may have other audio over it that's diluting the line. So I was able to watch that in pieces, but that's about it.
I love that. Yeah, yeah, uh my mom has told me before that like when I got sick, she um because I was so young, I don't remember when I originally got sick, but I remember her telling me that she was like not gonna let like my sister and I watch TV until we were a little bit older. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I got sick, I was in the hospital. Like that was just what we did. Like some movies and TV have always been my escape.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Well,
always,
I love that. I love that your mom, broke her own rules, because sometimes like that's sometimes life dictates the rules. And, how old is your mom?
um, okay, my mom, my sister and I all always forget how old she is.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this, based off of your age, I know that your mom had to have grown up with TV. And there's so much storytelling and connection that we have with TV, and that's what a lot of us, I think most people in Hollywood and entertainment and storytellers, we want to connect with people. And so that's why I like my son, watching TV. And there are so many touchstones in my life, my husband's life, where we have such visceral memories of our childhood, or dynamics with our siblings, where we have so many inside jokes in our family based off of a movie we saw, or a TV show we saw, or a commercial we saw, and it just bonds us in a certain way. And I'm happy that your mother adjusted the rule.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah, I just ever since then, like I've been obsessed with pop culture, and like she's the reason. I always joke that she started these obsessions with certain shows because all the shows I'm like so obsessed with, she introduced me to them. So I always joke with her when I'm like rewatching them all the time that this is her doing, that she's it's her fault that I'm just rewatching it for like the 100th time.
Yeah. Well, God bless your mom for bringing that into your life.
Yeah,
I truly believe, and I think a lot of people think that that TV and movies aren't good for you. And I think that there are some extreme things out there that I would never want my child to see, or at least at this age. Um, there's just so many great things out there too.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Um, uh, it would say, it would say, don't, warning, if you bring her a problem that you're going through, she will give you honest and direct advice.
I like that one.
I've had to tell some of my girlfriends have come to me with like venting about an issue, and I will start by saying, before you tell me this, just tell me, do you want me to give you my honest opinion, or you want me to just make you feel better about this and just kind of commiserate with you? And sometimes they have said like, please don't give me your honest opinion, just like let me vent and go along with whatever I'm saying. Like, great. But it is a it's an important distinction to make when you're being a friend. Like, what are they needing from you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have to always remember to sometimes ask people that because either I yeah will sometimes I'll just be listening and not really sure if they want a response, or
Mm-hmm.
I'll never know. I'm like, do you want me to try to give you advice or help you with this or just listen? Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'm great. It's great that you have also learned that as well, because it makes a difference as the kind of friend you can show up as.
Yeah, definitely. That's also, I have my mom to thank for that, for teaching
Oh,
my sister and I that.
your mom
So
sounds awesome.
yeah, she is like one of my favorite people.
Hmm.
Um, so what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Um, I think, well, I think most people, the thing that I guess I hear the most is just how average my day-to-day life is, that I prefer to stay in. I'm very social and outgoing, but I really, I guess the term they use now is extroverted introvert. I really, my days are at home, and that's my favorite place to be, is at home. Um, and I see my son is like that too. Well, it's different. With his daddy, he likes to go out and have an activity with me. He just doesn't want to leave the house, and and that's kind of my, any given day that I'm not working, you'll find me at home. In fact, I'm so much just at home that when my friends come to hang out with me, they almost always know that we'll be ordering in food and hanging out. Like, there's not like let's go to this dinner or a restaurant or try out this, or let's even go shopping. I don't really get out much. By the way, but when it happens, when a friend's like, let's go here, or I'll think of to do it, it is very fun and I like it. I just, my general mode of life is to just be at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to
Yeah.
that. I like going out and doing things, but like my favorite thing too is being home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you understand my frame of thinking in life.
Yes, I absolutely understand. Yeah. Um, so I just have two more questions for you, if
Great.
that works. Um, so what are the songs that make you sing along whenever you hear them?
You know, it's a strange thing with me. Um, I don't know why. A doctor did tell me once, he kind of explained something like this to me, but of why. But um, I don't listen to a lot of music. Um, I like in the car, I seldom listen to music. I will listen to podcasts from time to time, and especially if there's one I really love. Um, but I have so many thoughts going through my brain, um, that I will just sit in silence. And if I do listen to a song, what is very strange, and I know it's strange, is I can listen to the exact same song for hours. I went on a road trip once with my mom. Road trip is like, we had to drive, went from New York to Montreal together. It's like a 5 hour drive. And we just talked the whole time, but I've made that drive by myself as well. And so it's a long time. And I listen to the same song over and over and over. It just is in the back. And I think there's something obviously with my brain that feels comfort in that, or is okay with that, where other people would probably go crazy. Like, this is the same song over and over. But I don't listen. However, um, there's a singer named Alanis Morissette. Do you know Alanis Morissette?
I love her.
Oh, I'm so happy you love her. So uh, her first album, Jagged Little Pill, came out when I was 14, and it blew my mind wide open. And I just love her so much then and still. And my husband has this like late night talk show on Netflix. He does once a week. And he had told me from the very beginning of this season, he said, we're trying to book Alanis Morissette as a musical guest. He had no idea. I'd never talked to him about this. And I just was like, are you kidding me? Do whatever you can to get her on. You have to get her on. And she came on and I begged him to have her sing because she was going to sing one song. And he was like, I thought she'd sing maybe like You Ought to Know. And I'm like, look, I love every song of hers, but it's got to be ironic. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be. And he was like, really? And I was like, you don't understand. Every girl my age it just brings us back to this. I know it puts me back into this room in my house when my friend came over and she played Ironic for me. We sat in my bedroom and we just were like reading the lyrics that came on it. And I was so excited. So I have recently been listening to her song over and over. Like I put my phone on the bathroom counter when I'm taking a shower. In fact, the other day I was like, I couldn't hear it enough with the shower that I brought it into the shower and like made a nest of washcloth so that it wouldn't get wet and put the speaker part into the corner so that it would act as a speaker and go surround sound in the shower. And so I've been listening to that nonstop.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Alanis Morissette.
Aw, I'm so happy we have that in common.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I'm also, yeah, I can get when I just fall in love with the song, I'll just have it on repeat all the time.
Great.
Um,
You know
yeah,
that. Yeah.
that happened during one of the times that happened was during COVID and
Mhm.
lockdown, and I discovered the soundtrack for Spring Awakening.
Oh,
I had that on repeat for like 6 months and drove my mom and my sister a little bit crazy with it. So,
well, I have heard people go, can we change the song? And I go, all right. Well, I also, the other thing is I don't like, if there's a song I don't like, I want it off. Like, I'm like, I can't listen to that. I can't have it even like in the background far away.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, yeah, and just sorry, you mentioned sorry, your John's talk show,
Mhm.
and I love that.
Oh,
That
I'll tell him.
yeah.
He's
You
such a he's such a he's such a weirdo. Like I like I joke that the more I watch his show, the less I learn about him. I'm like, this is like last night's show, but I love it. I'm like,
yeah,
he doesn't tell me what he's talking about on the show, what he's doing. And I'm like, he's had this arc, like he's got this arc with like, the one episode he talks about like bringing like putting guys together in like a diagonal height, you know,
yeah,
thing. And then he does that. And then I had no idea. You know those little pieces, the little vignettes he does with Richard Kind, where it feels
yeah,
like, I don't know, like 1960s, like spy thrillers things.
yeah,
And then last night I was watching the episode and I thought, oh my gosh, they're like, it's actually all being strung together to like come up to this other thing. They're not just like for each episode. And I mean, he is, he's a brilliant, brilliant creative. And I'm constantly impressed with him.
yeah. Yeah, my sister and I have watched his comedy specials so many times and they never fail to
Oh,
make us laugh. And we saw him when he came to Red Rocks. It
oh,
was my mom, my sister, and I all went together to see him, and we were front row. And I remember I was wearing a hat, and he asked if he could borrow my hat.
is that your hat?
Yeah,
The
well,
one
he
he wore on
couldn't,
the one he wore on
yeah,
stage?
and then that one didn't work for him, so he asked somebody else for a hat, but he wore my hat.
I am going to tell him that. That was a hot, hot day.
Yeah.
That is so funny. What a small world.
Yeah.
I was there that day. if you were looking at the stage, I was to the right in the wings. And my son, our baby at the time, gosh, I don't even know what, he was still a baby, less than a year old. And he was napping in the back. We brought a crib for him and everything back there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, what a small world.
Yeah, I remember my sister and I were, as we were all like sitting there waiting, I remember like she pointed out to me, she was like, I think that's Olivia Munn right there, right
Oh,
there.
so that she saw me. That's such a
Yeah.
small world.
And I looked, I was like, oh my God, you're right.
Oh wow. How funny that we had been just feet apart that many years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite memories because that show was so much fun.
But also what a cool moment out of all the people. I mean, that place was sold out and packed. And out
Yeah.
of all the people, especially the front row was a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
he takes your hat and
Yeah.
uh and then here we are talking. I will tell him
Yeah.
he'll be really happy to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember like afterwards, my sister told me like I was shaking. I was like, well, John Mulaney looked at me and spoke to me, so yes, I'm shaking.
That's so cool. I have very vivid memories of that day because it was so
Yeah,
hot.
it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was my first time at Red Rocks too. And I think my sister's first show there. So it was really cool.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And
Mm.
this week, the one that spoke to me is you weren't born to tiptoe through life. Take up space, speak your truth, make them feel your presence. Be bold, be fierce, be unapologetically you. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
You know, let me just find it so I don't get it wrong. Um, let's see, there's actually two. It's a French philosopher, so I'm butchering his name as I look it up. Here it is. I'm just looking it up. Hmm. It's this, I believe he's a philosopher named Francois de la Rochefoucauld. And he says, one cannot answer for his courage when he has never been in danger. And what I love about that is it's saying, like, we really don't know how courageous we are. We really don't know the depths to our strength until we've been tested, until we've really been in a situation where we have to be courageous and brave. And I think you and I and your mother all understand that. And so we can all say, oh, if I was in that situation, this is what I would do. Or if I was in that situation, this is what I hoped I would do, or what I hope I would do. And the three of us can say, I was in this situation and this is what I did. And this is how courageous I was, this is how brave I was. So that's one. And the other one is they don't know who said it. Some say it's a Mexican proverb. But the quote goes, they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. And I love that one so much. It applies to things that come into our life, like cancer, or people who try to hurt us, or people who don't let us grow, or people who don't forgive us. It applies to so many things. And just knowing that that, people try to hurt you, but you all that, in order for a seed to grow, right? And you plant a seed, the tiny little seed, you have to put earth over it. And like, it just can't sit there and water and grow. It breaks through the earth to grow. It grows and it breaks through. And so I look at it like every time I felt something in the past that has just compounded the metaphorical dirt on top of me, I've been able to grow through it. And not only I've been able to, but I can. If it happens again, I can, and I will.
I love those.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that they connect with you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing those. I really love those.
And I tell you this, have you heard the story of the butterfly in the chrysalis?
I don't think so.
So there is this man going on a walk, and he sees on the tree there's a little butterfly in a chrysalis, it's a little cocoon. And he can see there's a tiny little tear in it, and you can see the butterfly is really struggling, and it can't really break out of this cocoon. So the man goes back to his home, and he gets a tiny pair of scissors, and he comes back and he helps the butterfly get out by just cutting it open and giving it room to fly out. And the butterfly gets out of its cocoon, and it falls to the ground immediately and dies. The moral of that story is the butterfly in nature needs to be cocoon like this and needs to break free because it's strengthening its wings. It needs to get the strength in its wings to be able to fly. And so there are challenges in our life that are really tough and that we have a hard time breaking through. And if somebody was to come along and just make it easy for us, we wouldn't have the strength we need to fly. And I love that because it reminds me of my mother. And the thing that my mother always did, since I was a little girl and before I could even realize and I don't even think she realized that she was doing it and how impactful it would be for me. But, there's some parents, I'm sure who, and you've heard your friends, and they say it in a very sweet way, but they'll say like, oh, you're so smart because I made sure to get you into this and this. You love the piano because I love the piano. And oh, you got your artistic skills from me. Oh, you got your math skills from me. Or, oh, I made sure to get up every day and took you to soccer, or I took you to those debate team practices and I got you there. And I would, and they sort of say it in a way that's like, look how I've always been there for you. Or look at this bond we have. But my mom never, ever did that. She never said, oh, you made varsity cheerleading because I got you there to all the practices and I got you to the tryouts. And she never said to my sister, you're so smart because I'm so smart. And I passed that down to you. She never said any of that. And I think because she never took credit for our wings, that's why my siblings and I have all felt brave enough to fly and to go after things that are very difficult, like to get in a car when I was 23 and drive out to California by myself. And I just had one book. It was called An Actor's Guide, Your First Year in Hollywood. And I just thought, well, this is all it takes, right? I'm just going to read the book and then go make it as an actor. And I did that. And it's because my mom gave me that vote of confidence in myself. My brother is a physicist and he lives in Paris and he's got a PhD in physics. My sister is a partner of her law firm. It's incredible because I attribute our confidence in our own abilities and our own wings to my mother for letting them be ours.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And that's incredible what you all have accomplished.
Yeah, I'm proud of my siblings. I always say this, but I always mean it. They are the more interesting siblings, way more interesting than what I'm doing. Truly, they do is so much more fascinating. When we get together as family, we're not talking about my career at all. they, John's career is fun for them to talk about. Mine, they see, and they see his too, but they are much more fascinating.
Well, I think you all are so impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we end, Maya, I want to ask how you're doing. How are things going with you, and where are you at in your journey?
I'm right now I'm having scans every 6 months to still make sure the tumor's stable. So I have one coming up in a couple weeks. Um, and it's just kind of at this point, like dealing with side effects of all the treatment. So kind of figuring out how to deal with all of that.
What kind of side effects are you dealing with?
I mean, chronic pain,
Oh,
um, and yeah, yeah,
which probably creates a lot of lethargy and exhaustion, right?
yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah, it's like chronic pain, a lot of nausea. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, not super
do they
fun.
give you that? Did they give you that patch that goes behind your ear for nausea or Zofran?
Yeah, Zofran is usually what I take.
There's that really great patch that goes behind your ear, that they gave me before I had to go into each of my surgeries. And because anesthesia can make me nauseous. And so there's a really great, I don't know how it works, but like the anesthesiologist prescribed it and put it on there for me, but you can stay on there for days too.
Oh, wow.
Ask your doctor about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
of course.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's called it's a certain kind of nausea. All the doctors they do know about nausea patch. It's called, yeah, scopolamine. Scopolamine.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Or
Uh,
I
yeah.
mean that's kind of what happens in when you meet people going through cancer. We just exchange medications and
Yeah.
information based on medications. We're like, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that?
Yeah. It's like I don't know. I like doing that because it's like a war kind of it's a very strange thing and I like it because it's very
Hmm.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. And I've had the best time talking with you. I am
Oh,
so
me too.
starstruck by you. So
Oh, you're so sweet. And I'm so happy that you reached out to do this. And I'm so excited that you've had such success. I hope you're really enjoying your success.
thank you so much.
Of course. And please tell your mother I said hello
I
and I'm sending
will.
her all my love. And
I
your twin
will.
sister.
I will. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.